Okay, so now everything's cool. I just take this off. Everything was cool, and now all of a sudden, 2006 comes. January 10th, 2006. A day that will live with me in infamy. Because what happened was a friend of mine who befriended me for about 6 months, we kept having steak, and we just, once a week we'd change over. I'd buy, he'd buy, I'd buy, he'd buy, and he was in the car business. And this other dude, the name I can't measure and tell you under a gag order, you know, I can't tell you who he is.
Right.
He was working also in a auto industry business. Well, he knew him, but I acted like nothing ever happened between us. Till finally one day, he told me, "Hey, you know, Jimmy's cool. You know, I'm just gonna throw a name out. Yeah.
Right.
What happened?" I said, "What percentage of improvement of you think it is?" He said 75%. And he wants to see you and put you to work, but in something legit. I figured after 17 years, and with this guy's word of honor, like an idiot, I went over there. And by going over there, I was set up.
Was this the same guy that you took the money from then?
Yes.
Okay.
Same guy.
From years earlier?
1989.
Okay.
The same cartel, which was now mostly dead.
Right.
And everybody served 15 to 20 years but me, because so he had plenty of motivation. You know, I took the 200 grand, motivation for that, motivation for roughing him up and running his nose up in the grass, and motivation for a lot of things, man. And so once I got on the lot, they shut the gate, and away they went with brass knuckles. I won't give you the whole tool, it'd take too long. But I said, at least give me a chance, or why don't you shoot me right now, because it was at 9 in the morning, and then this red-headed guy shut the gate, and now there's 5 people against me. One of them was a cop, and you know, and the cop was there. I got hit. I stood toe to toe like I did with Mike Sharp. One guy kept coming this way. He kept saying he's going to kill me, and then one guy come this way. The other guy who wanted me dead, that I roughed up a little bit, was here. Then around a corner I looked, I just happened to catch a cop in a cop car. I said, I'm wondering, who the hell is this guy? But my emotions was on this other guy, because my car was directly back, and I was trying to get back there, but they weren't going to let me do it. And finally I seen the brass knuckles. I thought he had a gun behind him, and I fainted, and then I went back. This guy started on me, so I turned just for a second, and the guy was a lefty, and he hit me with a roundhouse, and caught me right in the eye, caught me right in the button. I got a total of 140 stitches, and he hit me 21 times with brass knuckles. And the whole plot was to kill me, to beat me to death, because I roughed him up. But then they thought to themselves, wait a minute, we got this here Billy Jack in this position. Why don't we take and just say a tweaker did it? I think I heard that. And that's what the police, I can't show you the police report. I got it. I want to show it to you, but I can't.
That's okay.
That's a gag order.
Right.
So what happened was, they thought I was dead, that they beat me to death. So we said, hit him 5 more times. So now my right eye is totally shut, slit. I'm going to show you the pictures while I talk to you so you guys can understand. These are the pictures that were taken at the hospital.
I'll take.
Okay. These were the pictures that were taken at the hospital. I was almost dead, very close to death, as you can see. I had several stitches in my head, concussion. I had 8 broken bones in my face. I had total reconstruction 7 days later, a week later. In fact, it was so bad they had to wait 7 days to have surgery, which put my life on hold. And I remember the one police officer saying, Well, I don't think we should involve the criminals to take photos because the beating doesn't look bad enough. What's that look like to you, ladies and gentlemen? Is that bad enough to you? I've never been beat this bad in my entire life. I've been in the ring since I was 8. So, this here picture you're taking here, I was barely breathing. I have oxygen, as you can see in here. You can see the oxygen. And I was unconscious. And the reason I'm showing you this, because the bad Portland police officer made no police report. And then the bad police officer went to OHSU Hospital, Oregon Health and Sciences University, and both the two phony pricks, that's what I'm calling you, phony pricks, said I made a statement. They wrote down a 1.5-page statement I made, claiming that that basically the whole thing was my fault. That I went belly to belly with the tweaker, 5'10", 155.
Huh.
And then the guy told me to go over and check him out, and then the guy came over, and I went belly to belly with him, saying, "Yeah, fuck you, well, fuck you, well, hey, fuck you, well, fuck you." I've never done that in my life. I'm going to fight someone. I'm going to fight someone from a distance, and especially not a wild tweaker. That was all made up, and they all know that. But there's a cop involved, right? So I told him he was Hispanic.
Sorry.
It's okay, that's Hispanic music, goes right along with the interview. That was cool, man. So what happened was they tried to weasel out of it. They thought I was dead. I faked my death. So what he did was the guy that I'm going after, the part of the family.
Right.
He went and I was like this. This eye was completely shut, as you've seen. I had over, I think it was 40 staples put in my eye. I can't see out of my right eye. This is a week later.
Right.
Okay, but my left eye had a little slit, and I just laid there dead like I was dead. WWF move. But I could see two people like I'm looking at you, and I kept focused on them and what they were saying. They said something about putting me in a trunk and burying me somewhere. And he came up with this idea about, well, no, let's drag him out to the front, off the property, so I don't get sued, and then we'll say a tweaker beat him to death. Yeah, right, a tweaker beat my ass to death. And so the police officer who was on the scene first never made a police report. He never made a report at OHSU, but he followed the other cop there to tell the cop what went on so he'd know, what to write down and what to say and what not to say. I don't remember no police officers coming to OHSU interviewing me, and they got this here big 2-page story like I talked to them. Now, does this look to you, ladies and gentlemen, that I could say 2 words? I don't know how many grams of morphine I was on, but they said I talked to them 2.5 hours after this. They took me to the hospital. It's impossible. So it's a big cover-up by these 3 police officers that were acquitted with 14 witnesses. But I'm taking my chances, man. I'm going to roll the dice. I am now, the DAs have said they're going to take the case, and they're not. They want to go in it to win, they say. I said, well, good. I'll probably go to the district attorney then. You guys don't do it, I'll go to the attorney general. If you don't do it, then I'll go to the federal attorney general. This cop isn't going to get away with this shit.
Right.
Not going to get away with it. I was within a half inch of my life, and my headstone would have said Billy Jack Haynes beaten to death by a tweaker, 155 pounds. They had it all planned. They had the cop there as the perfect witness. So, they were going to beat me to death with brass knuckles, drag me off their property, and both they swear that a tweaker did it, and they went after him, couldn't find the tweaker, and blame it on him, and they're all clear. And he gets his revenge from 1989. Only problem is I'm still alive. I went to WWF here. They didn't understand that.
Right.
I faked my death. They hit me 21 times. They counted them at the hospital. And it would have killed anybody else because it's 6.3 or 8.3 harder. When you use brass knuckles, your lethal punch becomes 8 times harder than a fist.